All right, so we're in the middle of nowhere right now. Stock headlights. Wow, that is insane. That is literally night and day difference. You can see everything. I can't believe how drastic that is. It's kind of harder to tell on camera just how drastic this is. Just for a second, I'm kind of looking at the phone while I flip it here, and it is insane how much further down the road this is letting you see when you turn on those highs. What's going on, guys? So, I know it's been a little while since we talked about the G Wagon, but I got sent these pretty cool LED headlights the other day, and I wanted to put them in and give you guys my honest opinion of them. It looks like it's going to be a pretty solid upgrade for the early ones, especially the cars that don't have the HIDs or the xenons. Alright, so I have some extra fun to deal with on mine because I have this cool brush guard. It's slightly easier for you guys that don't, but I'm going to cover the removing of this, that way you guys can do it. You really only need 3 tools for this whole job. You have your Phillips screwdriver, and you're going to need this to remove the headlight covers. You have your grill removal tool, and I'm going to show you guys how to find this. Basically, it's kind of near your battery in the rear center console. If you don't have it, sorry about your luck. You can buy one of these online. They're not that expensive. And you're also going to need a couple zip ties or something like that. You want to just secure your ballasts. That way they're not just flopping in the wind. After all, what's the point of having brighter headlights if things are going to just wobble and then break? Alright, so before I get ahead of myself here, I want to just kind of show you guys what you're going to need as far as the lights go. So you have your ballasts here, and these are important. These are mainly for the CAN bus. So long story short, the G-Wagons have a CAN bus system, and the LEDs draw a lot less power. So basically, if you try to hook these up without the ballasts, pretty much all it's going to do is let the headlights flicker every so often, and you'll probably get a bulb out warning on the dash. So you hook these ballasts up in line with where the headlights go, and then that doesn't happen to you. A lot of headlights have these built in, so my first impression was kind of an eye roll that these did not have it, but that kind of made me change my opinion, because you get to build a higher quality product if your number one focus is just the light itself. So this is actually completely surrounded in metal. This is a metal casing. It's not plastic. These look like really high quality lights. So I'm really curious to see how these are going to work compared to the stock units. But without any further ado, let's get to work here. So first things first, we're going to tackle this brush guard. If you guys don't have one, feel free to just skip ahead. But I'm going to put this right up on there so I can kind of show you guys what's what. Alright, so basically how this works is this hump is designed to kind of go over that stock bracket. So finagle that in there the best you can. And it's kind of down toward the bottom. You'll know when you have it in because it can only kind of go one way. Alright guys, so these have to go this direction. So I'm going to lift up on this as much as I can. There we go. You know you'll be on the right track when this happens. There we go. We're going to get that out of the way. It should kind of hold itself up. And we're going to zoom that out a little bit. So I might have had this out a couple months ago, just kind of cleaning it. So mine looks clean, but if yours hasn't been off for a while, yours probably looks really dirty. And while this is off, you should definitely clean it. Alright, so you can hardly even see them, but there are 2 screws holding these bezels on from the bottom. And best of all, you actually don't have to fully remove them. You just have to loosen them. And I'll show you why in a second. So just loosen them a little bit, maybe a couple more turns. And then what you'll do is you'll lift this just up enough to get the top off. And then you can kind of just come on ever so gently. Pop them out. Now mine, and probably yours too if you're watching this in America, is equipped with the headlight washer, and we don't want to block that. All you have to do, there's a Phillips here, and I think there's one more. This is just a seal. You can just take that off and not worry about that too much. Mine has 3, 1, 2, and then there's one on the bottom. This is just a little cover that you can remove as well. Mercedes put lots of covers on these. Actually, don't remove this yet. You want to remove this plug first. And remember, you actually have 2 lights inside your headlight assembly. So let's take this to the bench and I can show you guys the delicate installation. Alright, well, first off, they gave you these gloves for a reason, so definitely wear them. At least one of them, the one that touches the delicate stuff. So this is, again, kind of just like a dust boot. I do recommend putting this back on, though, especially if you use your G Wagon, and I suspect if you're watching this, you do, so use it. So the next part is really easy. You have these 2 individual tabs, and you can kind of get them one at a time. Just be careful with it. Lift that up. And another reason you want to use these gloves is chances are if you're upgrading your headlights, the old ones work fine. And just in case we have a problem with those, I plan to actually hold on to these. So maybe you do the same. Or if you have one that just goes out later on. Installation's super easy. Again, they really only go in one way. Nothing complicated about that. They fit nice in that groove just like they should. And then put these clips back in one at a time. The top of that rubber thing should be pretty much flat with the surface of the bulb where the plug goes in. Alright, so next up what you're going to do is, you got your ballast in here. I already kind of tucked it in there. You want to hook the ballast into where you would plug the headlight in. That's this wire. Remember, this little guy is that other smaller light that's in our headlight assembly. So what you're going to do now is you should tie the ballast to this harness. It's kind of a bigger harness, and the ballast, it's heavy enough, but not heavy enough to the point where it's going to put strain on stuff. So, alright, I'm just making sure we got enough room here for all of our activities. Cool. Alright. Pull that as tight as it goes. Give this a good cut. Just like that, you're ready to reassemble your light. So if you guys recall from disassembly, there's this little metal U thing that's in there. So make sure you have yours oriented the way mine is, otherwise you'll be riding down the road with crooked ass headlights and no one wants to see that. So line it up, and I recommend you have one screw in your hand while you do this, by the way. So let me reposition this a little bit. There we go. Alright, so I recommend you hold it with one hand, and you remember the ballast now, the black plug, is what's going to go into your headlight, just like that. And don't forget to reconnect that other smaller headlight I told you guys about. It's kind of like a daytime running light kind of thing. So you just have those 2 plugs. Put that back in there, and remember that screw I told you to hold in your hand? Now you can just kind of get that hand tight. I think it goes on this way. It actually is directional. But you want to, no, you know what? I'm wrong. It goes on this way. There we go. You want to put that back on because it helps stop moisture from getting somewhere that it shouldn't. So put that back on. Have some patience while you do it. The first thing you want to do is look down so you know where your screws are, because these tabs obviously have to go behind them. So don't worry about the top yet. You just want to make sure that bottom's going to line up. So get those tabs where they got to go. Just like that. Give that a good gentle push. That way, remember, you got a hose over there if you have an American model that has the headlight washers. Alright, so it's still not positioned yet because the top's loose. So what you'll do is you just kind of lift it up until those tabs, I'm going to try to, there we go. you just lift it up high enough that the tabs will clear. There we go. You hear that click? Up. Alright, so before you guys get too far, one thing I do recommend doing is you just test the lights. So I'm going to test mine. Alright, cool. Now we're ready to put it back together. Super easy. So, real quick, you'll see on your bull bar assembly that there's these grooves. You want to make sure those are vertical because they fit in that slot like that. It's a little challenging to get everything to line up, but I believe in you if you made it this far. Basically, all you do is you want to lift this back up into position. Don't worry about the inner things yet, actually, but basically you just put that back where it needs to go. And actually, I'm going to pull it back real quick because you're going to notice that the keys, quote unquote, like to fall out. So what you'll do is you want to make sure that those are also lined up. So you'll line them up vertically just like that. And now, when you put this in, you can kind of hold them in place, but I only have 2 arms, so we're going to kind of do one at a time. Alright, I'm going to do a better job explaining it this time. So, you see that little pin? What you'll do is push that up once you have everything aligned, and then once you think you have it close, all you really have to do is start turning this. Alright, so these older G Wagons are like almost 20 years old, so you might have to do a little bit of finagling to get yours perfect. I actually had to hold mine like this while I turned it, and of course, like most interesting automotive moments, it was not caught on camera, so you'll just have to take my word for it. But we're back together here, so let's get our before and afters. Alright, I am on a dark street mostly, and alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Holy crap. Alright, let's see how this does. And by the way, I would like to point out, because the Mercedes has a CAN bus system, we could check our malfunctions here. So this just has a tele-aid warning for something else. So I want to be super clear here. These headlights will not trigger a headlight out warning as long as you install those ballasts I installed. So this is where I was last time. Wow, that is insane. That is literally night and day difference. You can see everything. I can't believe how drastic that is. It's kind of harder to tell on camera just how drastic this is. Just for a second, I'm kind of looking at the phone while I flip it here, and it is insane how much further down the road this is letting you see when you turn on those highs. Alright, so just kind of like my own comments here on these lights. This is a great upgrade for your G Wagon, especially the ones that don't have the xenon headlights and they just have the old school incandescent ones. They look a little yellow. Even if you're not really going for something that's going to perform better for you, like off-road or something, these just make it look so much more modern because these look like all of the modern xenon lights do. So a nice little upgrade to the way this thing looks, and you can definitely pair it with some LED turn signal bulbs like I did for just the maximum look. And yeah, they look great. I'm going to put a promo link in the description, and you can also get some additional off your order if you use that link specifically. So follow those instructions, get a little discount on me, and enjoy some upgraded headlights. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.